Like if you don't understand God's mercy, there's a lot of things you just ain't gonna understand. You know, why He loves us so, and why His grace is sufficient for me. You know, so all the things that you're going through, I mean, it's as strange as it may seem, and as insensitive as it seems, that it's not uncommon to man. You know, it's really not. It's really real. You know, it really can. You know, His love and understanding that kind of really helps everything else. It puts everything else into perspective because everybody has the same story. You know, everybody has the, everybody left me, and a lot of people do. I guess if you keep some money, what I'm saying, if you keep some money around, ain't nobody going nowhere. Everybody's gonna stand still. If you got a couple of dollars to, throw around. And that's just the nature of the beast. And sadly as it seems, uh, as sadly as it seems, it's the realities of life. You know. And the more we try to fight against that reality, it's almost like devastation. You know what I'm saying? It really is. It's devastation for those that you know that don't move into that particular lane. So as I see you, go through, and I mean, I know you're going through on a level that where you feel like, oh no, especially he'll never understand that right there. He doesn't know, mm-mm. And to whatever level of the bull, he can't, no way. So at that point, you'll become, you'll get self-inflicted wound. You'll do a lot of that stuff to yourself. And that's where God's love is redemptive to the point you just say, oh man, I'm gonna cry. To weep because your love for me is so undescribably beautiful. All I could do is cry, and that should say it all. The when you cry that way, like I say, Joseph, when he cried, when his brothers came before him and he went back and, hey, he told the Egyptians to leave. Hey, get on out of here. I got to cry. But he was crying so loud that they heard it out in the hallway. Ooh, what pain, to have last seen them, taking your coat, your Burberry, and splashing it with blood and, tossing you off into a ditch, slavery, and then to become second in power of all of Egypt. You can't say that the palace or the pit is not a very, almost a safe place for some of us wild ones. Say, oh boy, it's good he in jail. You got that kind of family member. He's better in jail, even though they kill him in there. But if he out here in the streets, boy, it's a problem. And don't mind putting up on you talking about, hey man, hey, man, they over here doing this here. You can't steal. You supposed to tell him. No, man, no, boy, it's that way. And so, there's no level of love. Love is not willing to go, or a level of hate, or a level of disrespect, or a level of whatever. Love is translucent. It's moving, and it can get in those places that other places can't get. It's that extension on that wrench. It can get way down, and you used to work at the shop, didn't you? You worked at the shop, so extension, what extension go at what, and all that kind of stuff. Tools make the job easier. You know what I'm saying? Tools make the job easier. For real. So trust me, all I can do in that right there is so beautiful, is be quiet, or just because there's no explanation. You can't explain anything to that. You know, if Satan come to sift you, he come to sift you like wheat. You know, like when you put it in and then be sifting it so the flour can be fluffier. You know, you can create a better cake, a better whatever pie. You see, but that sifting is a process that has to be dealt with. You see, and there and God will literally He'll place all of the right people around to make it be what it is, you know, for you. You know, His grace is sufficient for thee. When you don't know how He's going to do it, He does it. And He does it to the level of excellence to where you know, you can't understand it. You know, He places the right people around you in the darkest hour. You know, they'll be there for you no matter what. And they'll be, and they'll come from the strangest places, and they'll be the oddest people. Like, oh, wait a minute, how's my husband, or how are they supposed to be supportive in this situation now? Well, God will give them a certain kind of grace to get on the cross. You feel me? You know, there's a grace that will get you to the Delarosa, you know, on up to Golgotha to yeah, and then get on there and say, hey, man, you know, deal with disputes. He's in between. He's in between. How do I want to say? Conflict and divisiveness. But at the end of the day, guess what? Someone goes to heaven. The very least of these, the last. Hey, today you'll be with me in eternity. You know, come on, man. Now, this man ain't said the Romans 10:9 and 10. He ain't do none of that. Outside of saying, hey, man, leave him alone. We deserve to be here. So, you know, the fact of the matter is we deserve to be where we are. Hey, Auntie, what's going on, sweetheart? I talked to your older brother today, yesterday morning. Was it? Yeah, about mid-morning. I didn't even know who he was. Sound like a professor. A white professor at that. So, you know, as dark as my uncle is, that's something else. So, but Auntie is still Auntie, man. She's amazing. Jeannie's amazing. And we had a great conversation, you know, and that's, you know, for those that don't know, that's my mama too, for real. And has brought so much to my life. It's absolutely amazing how the things she put in me a long time ago still reign supreme and superior today. But I got a little YouTube channel I've been playing with. So if y'all go on over there to that, once I get that all in check, I'll be able to give it to you a little bit better than that. But, you know, again, I'm not a big social media buff, but I do like to give inspiration as I get it. And I know it's the holidays, and I haven't seen a lot of my family members during this time because I'm on the other side of the world. And it's amazing to have this kind of weather on Thanksgiving, which is beautiful, and the ocean is still the ocean, the beach is still the beach. So, you know, God is still holding true to his eternal word, you know, his forever word. Hey, man, the oceans are still obeying, and the fish are still jumping out the water, and the birds are diving in. So, as you can imagine that, there's some serious things going on in the world. So I'm trying to build my hours up on YouTube and all that kind of stuff, and, you know, get with the program and create another line of income. However, I was thinking about, you know, as the holidays, especially Thanksgiving, because a lot of the family get together, the core family get together, and Big Mama, whoever the case may be, get together and eat and all that good stuff. So you spend a lot of quality time around Thanksgiving. So I'm always appreciative of Thanksgiving as far as spending time with the people that you love, and eating and getting fat and going to sleep and eating and going back to sleep. So those are the things that I've appreciated about Thanksgiving and not being in school, and being able to see grandma and granddad, whoever that is. So for those who are out there enjoying their holidays, I wish the best to you, and appreciate the people while they're living, and give them their roses now, let them smell them, and put them in a picture frame or whatever they're gonna do with it. But I just wanted to, for my family that will probably catch this a little later, I'm sure, that you enjoy yourselves. I'm doing well. Hey, how you doing, Miss Laid Back? Hey, Laid Back. We want to pet sleep. How about that? But hey, how you doing? Hopefully all is well with you, and that you made it on the other side of the mountain, if you know what I mean. Hopefully, you can see a brighter day, and we ain't got to see the soothsayers. That we can see the true men of God, and they'll give you the redemptive message that His grace stretches a long way. And I don't want to talk about it too long because folk might get lazy, but I'm not worried about folk. I'm just, at this point, when it comes down to Him, I got to worry about me, because this thing is so personal, and He's going to be the one that's going to, set the temperature and set the pace. So I definitely have to keep Him first and foremost. So, but again, going into this Hanukkah season, these 12 here, and the whole Hanukkah meaning behind that. This is, again, it's a time where a lot of people could be thrown off, or a little deceived about the holidays, simply because we just enjoy, is rest, R&R, rest and relaxation. So, but this year is definitely different for me, because it's the first time let me think, that I've done it on this coast. And Thanksgiving was very light. As a matter of fact, I don't know, it probably looked black, but this is green, straight green. I've been on that good diet. As much as I do bad to the temple, I try to replenish all that I do bad, and so it is what it is. However, I was compelled to get up, really, just kind of popped up, and just started meditating like I would do at this particular hour, especially on a Sunday, because a lot of people don't participate in church nowadays. You can do it from the internet, the physical church, but more of the church without walls, which is a unique thing, and how technology has created an environment. It has created an environment to stretch and go far. You know what I mean? And it just, as Scripture said, that in the last days that knowledge would increase. The last days of what? Hey, that's too, I don't want to get into that. That's too deep for me, because I just want to deal with only 3 topics when it comes down to that, and that's the death, burial, and resurrection. However, in meditation, I was just thinking to myself, and going through the city of San Francisco. It's a very art-driven type of city, hippie kind of city. So it gives you a different type of look. And we would call that a feng shui and art. So there's a certain art or theme to every city. And with that, I thought about it, and I seen how people were. I was listening to Jim Rohn, and he was talking about how he took a walk through San Francisco and the Tenderloin, and how he used that to create a type of feeling, to feel deep. And I think and know that that is definitely a part of a self-growth, to be able to feel the community around you and embrace it and take it and internalize it and make it fit your life to a certain degree that it'll tailor your life to make it slide a little bit better, knowing that there's people that are pulling up on the sidewalk for real at 5 o'clock, sleeping outside like it's just another day, and the way people walk by, uh, it's just another day. And it'll make you, especially if you're not from that kind of environment, you're kind of raised up in a more safer environment. You probably wouldn't understand that. It's a little too much. But however, for those that maybe sit in a different position, a higher place, they would take it and internalize it and be able to, in a sense, breathe on it and give it back as some form of service. And so, and that type of form of service gave me that title right there. And it's a work of art. And I say that to say is that our lives are like a work of art, and we're like the canvas. And you could go to any tattoo shop and he'll pretty much agree. He'd love a brand new canvas to create a work of art, and we are the canvas, and our life is, it's like a work of art. And what we put on us, what the narrative we want to sell and paint, our issues, like the colors, the different colors, those are like issues in life, red and green, and those. There's just so many issues that life has, and the Bible talks about guarding your heart from those different issues, because out of your heart flows the issues of life. So you have to definitely guard it with all diligence. And that again probably needs classes, simply because it's difficult. It's very hard for a person that's after God's own heart to live in this world. It would be definitely difficult, because it's his love or his caring for God's people it's a hard balancing beam. Now, if you're Ichabod Crane, hey, it's Groundhog's Day. So, but for God's people, it's a fight. So, you know, let your life, be a work of art that people look on to you and glorify. The artist, the real painter, they'll glorify him, through your actions. And sometimes life will, not sometimes, at some point, life will provide you with a color that don't seem like it's going to go with what you got going on. They'll say, hey, how is this going to go with that? That don't match with that. But then, hey, artists have come with another, framed another word, coined another phrase. Oh, we're going to make it pop, like the blue or the pop. We're going to make it pop. So certain things in our life that comes and seems like it just does something to the painting. It's just a hair off or something, or a splash gets in. Now you have to adjust your vision, because the canvas ain't going to change. We can paint over the canvas, but the canvas is going to be the canvas. So we have to just develop a different eye, like God has for us. He definitely has a different eye for us, and a lot of times we can't see that, simply because we can't. You see what I'm saying? Hey, what's going on, Scrooner? That's a very unique name. If I said that right, either which way, Schooner, yeah. Either which way, blessings to you and happy holidays. Again, you're the canvas of your life. I had to just jot a few things down. You're the canvas. Life issues of the colors. Here's something that I got out of it, is that truth. Let truth guide, your thoughts. See, because now what you paint is going to come out your thought process, what you're thinking about. So you want to let truth guide your thought process. Why your life is the canvas. Why? Because if truth is, guiding your thoughts, or they're the hands, then, whatever a man so thinketh, so is he. If you're thinking good thoughts, then good things are definitely going to happen. You bring that positive energy, and that begots that, and so on and so forth. Now, you bring that negative side, which is necessary in the grand thing, in the grand scheme of things. You definitely need the negative with the positive. So if it's all positive, then you want to make sure to look again if there's no negative, because you might just be in heaven. You might just be in heaven. However, let's see. Now, watch this. Your paintbrushes are, it's your choices. What choice you're gonna make. What choices you're gonna make. What actual paintbrush you're gonna use for this. It's a big one, a little one. Then what color are you gonna dip it in? Life it's got all of those elements. So that's why life can be a work of art. I go on Facebook all the time, and I see, the typical posts and things of that nature, and it makes me almost like, I don't even post, because it doesn't really have any substance, and that's cool. I think it's substance for somebody, but for me, and like Al would say, hey, this grown man over here is serious. There ain't no kikiing. No, ain't no kikiing at all. Especially when your life is the canvas. You're the canvas of your life, and you kikiing over there, boy. You better stop. So again, your paintbrushes are your choices. Choose wisely what paintbrush you use, how thick or thin you want to make your lines or your curves. All of that is to be in consideration, which, reminds me to my buddy, Wink. Wink has a clothing design company, and it's called Wise Art. Then he talks about letting your art be wise. And that's, when you go out, you make wise choices about how you dress your canvas, um, uh, how you come across. So be wise about your art. So if I guess I would use that as a commercial, Wink, Wise Art. So there's a couple of other things. YouTube. I'll be posting some things up on the YouTube. So please subscribe over there. I'm gonna be messing around but giving some real life issues, and hopefully it'll bless some. And grassroots movement. Want to move it the grassroots way. Because of course grassroots always, for me, it feels better. I can comprehend it a lot better, starting from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and on up. And if I get in early enough, I can probably learn it in German. You know what I'm saying? Ein, zwei, drei, vier, so on and so forth. Let's see. Wow. Again, now Thanksgiving. You normally don't get opportunity to spend time with the family members. So those that catch the broadcast, hear this, or what have you, make sure that you spend quality time. Don't spend most of your time drinking that good Jack and Coke, rolling up that good bud, or whatever it is you do to put you in your place. If so, make sure that you spend quality time with family. I think it's very important to know that it could be the last time that you see them, the last Thanksgiving. Yeah, man, last time I see Uncle Charles, last Thanksgiving. One of those things. So make sure that you extract wisdom. I gotta write that down. Make sure that you do that. And I might just hang out for a little bit. Extract wisdom. Please do that. Extract wisdom. I think about my grandmother, and this is what I need to do, and I believe that God will provide an opportunity for me to do it, is I need to get with my aunties, my older aunties, my grandmother's sisters, my auntie Betty, and Silva, all of them that know, they know their daddy. I don't even know their dad. I think his name was Senko. I can't remember his name really because I don't hear it much, but because that's my grandfather, my daddy's grandfather, and of course he was dead. And I shouldn't say of course, but of course he was dead by the time I was born, because most black men don't live that long. If they nowadays, so we got to definitely get on our health too, as much as we're wrecking it. I want to really get into the history of the family, and or just to the little that I can do before watch this ancestral.com. Just do the local history. And if I knew better when I was a lot younger, I would have probably just bugged them about telling me stories about that, because so much of our history is null and void. But I mean, with the technology again, yeah, they'll, if they don't already know exactly where you originated from in the whole nine, with just technology, or where the most of your gene pool lie. And that's amazing. That's amazing. Just how technology. I mean, again, when I graduated high school, the computer wasn't even, it wasn't a big deal at that point. I think till Windows. So I didn't really. I still don't really have a real good sense of how to, really work a computer as I should. But they make stuff so easy. Technology is making things so easy nowadays, and these phones are computers. So hey, they didn't took it back to the hieroglyphics, the emojis. So extract wisdom. What's another? Get around, some of you men, get around and massage some auntie's feet or something, and actually, serve. That's basically what I'm trying to say. Do take the opportunity to serve and give back, and not take advantage of the moment that you're promised, the amenities that you're able to have today, because tomorrow is another day, and it may not look nothing like the day before. Now, all the stuff around that God provided, like the ocean and all, they'll be doing the same thing. Now, your life may not be doing the same thing. You might have been walking yesterday, and you're in a wheelchair today, and so on and so forth. So we definitely want to make sure that on this holiday season that we as much as we can spew out all of the negative stuff, that we keep the balance and provide positive. And let's look at life in a different, or at least family in a different way. Let's use the word. I'll use the word cherish a little bit more in this equation here, because you have to cherish these moments. I remember Thanksgiving with my grandmother and grandfather, and wasn't too often. But I do remember that, and now looking back on it, I wish I would have. But being a kid, you can't get it all right. But I wish I would have really sat up underneath them and got some of that good wisdom that would that of course it always stands the test of time. Wisdom is going to do that. Proverbs is a prime example of that. It's been written thousands of years ago, and but it still holds true today. What a man sows, he's gonna reap, but all the other good things that it provides. So, also too, the book, The Drip Apocrypha, is available on hgpau.com. For those that want to support, please do check it out. See what the drip is talking about, the Apocrypha. And the reason why I talked about it being the Apocrypha is the drip Apocrypha, because it's just these principles, the the 12 steps that it takes to become successful. Now, it's nothing that's uncommon to man. It's always, these principles are always, they've always been here since I've been here for sure. And I'm pretty sure they'll be here long after I'm gone. So certain things are just principle. It's just standard. It's just like the air that God has provided for us to breathe. It's standard. We don't even think about it. It's there. We know it. We don't have to worry about him not paying his bill and, oh man, we ain't got air today. He's all paid up. He's in the black, and that's where we are, supposedly. In the black. Now, we know as a country we're in the red, but so I don't know how we either do that. So that book, Thug Apocrypha, has those 12 steps. Now, I'll be really doing the 12 steps both ways. That's literally and figuratively. So success is the ultimate step, the 12th step. And a lot of people get faint in the 11th hour, So we deal with from 1 to 12. It's a lot of information that I'm even having to take myself, real talk, and be is transparent because I want to really, with everything I do, cause an epidemic of change. That it just reverberates all over through an act. Like some people provide acts of love that stand the test of time. That God so loved the world. Is that right? That he gave his only begotten Son. Is that right? That whosoever believeth in him shall not perish? Really? But have eternal... What? Who is this hope of glory? Where does he come from? And I believe I probably need to know him ASAP because I need the hope of glory ASAP. So extract wisdom. And that is one of those things that you'll get from this book, the Trip Apocrypha, is that you'll get those fundamental truths that will give you another a confirmation that, hey, exactly what God said, it is true. And it'll navigate through some of the natural stuff that we deal with people and rejection and having to turn to yourself and go from within, and you'll move or operate like how David, when he had to encourage himself, and David always talked about that. King David, the first king, well, the second king of Israel, of Jerusalem, and he always was crying. David was always, God, please don't do this and don't do that, or God, please, to break their teeth, and so he was a man after God's heart. And had he been a prophet, he probably would have been Jeremiah, the weeping prophet, because he definitely did a lot of crying. But I could imagine so if the sword won't depart from your house. Like, it's always beef in there. Who wants to go home? You better live in a palace, so you can just be on the other side over there, because inside is the sword, and it was real, really real. Absalom and Abnon and all this, the story is written. And again, I'm not going to get into all of the legalities, but I believe that it is a great book for those that aren't believers, a great starting point. It's a great, hey man, this is great wisdom here. And obviously, because it's still the #1 selling book. I mean, for those that don't believe, we know there's Nicodemus in them. If that could be such a thing. He's going to go under you're going to get the books, the book from a book giveaway, and at the yard sale in the back that you can, that type of way. You ain't gonna go to Bereans or Christian books. You ain't gonna go and get it on top, off top. Get it out the mall, get it out the airport. Nope. You're gonna get it at a yard sale in the back, in the garage. Yeah. But hey, I commend you. I still gonna work the same. And I would do the same thing David did, hide it in your heart that you may not, and you probably will, but hopefully you won't, but you probably will. So however you live in that balance, I commend you to read that book, that book, and it's a balance chapter in there to help you balance certain things out. I am absolutely proud of being able to be a part of this book. The ghostwriter, whoever she is, and whatever her name is, has been awesome in the approach and the idea that we had behind it for it to be. So, you got it in a couple of different forms. You got it from a male perspective, and you have a female perspective, and then you got God's perspective, and that's the perspective that's going to reign supreme. So study to show thyself approved. So don't take my word for it and the writer's word for it. You got to go in there and systematically work it out and figure it out. And that's, when life humbles you, you'll sound like because the fear of the Lord is just the beginning of knowledge. So, and it takes a lot of time for some people to fear him, reverence him, whatever you want to put in the equation. You better know that he's the boss, and treat it as such, and life will be a little bit better for you, I'm pretty sure, or it will be, I'm sure, and not necessarily with the bells and whistles, but the grace to be poor, the grace to be, without, it'll look like the guys at the gate of beautiful, Peter and the fellas, so to speak. And the poor man, the poor man say, hey, ask for some money, and he says, silver and gold have I not. I ain't got no money. But such as I have, what I do have now, let me tell you what I got before you just push it off is nothing. It's the hope of glory. And you being poor right now and begging, yeah, you need hope, man, and you need glory. So such as I have, I give unto thee. And so I'm learning to, as I graduate every year to another age, I pray that I graduate to another level of understanding, because wisdom definitely is the principal thing, but there is a higher source, and it's understanding that wisdom. And sometimes, or most times, our flesh will cause us not to understand wisdom as we should. We know it in our gut. No, it don't feel right. But we're going to cast that stone anyway, knowing that I was one of the ones that did it. But I'm going to act like I did, and I'm going to butt to the white meat. That's how wicked this place is. But, hey, Stephen didn't seem to mind. He actually just said, well, since y'all going to do what y'all going to do, I'm going to do what I'm going to do. And Jesus going to stand up on the right side. So if you want to stand in ovation, man, hey, get it like a champion. Get it how you live. Dive on out there, front porch style. Make your life a work of art, and people will talk about you for centuries. Love is the ingredient for success. The Drip Apocrypha. Pick it up today. Peace.